Hello. Welcome to Confidence with Coffee. I'm Heather Jean, and I'm so glad you are here. In this series, we talk about the kind of key takeaways from the podcast episodes as I record them. And so, just adjust my microphone a little bit here. Make sure that you can hear me. There we go. Confidence Through Cabaret, the podcast, is available anywhere you get your podcast. Just search on your favorite podcast platform, and you'll be able to find it. And our latest episode is with Suzanne Alexander. You'll also find the full vodcast here on the Confidence Through Cabaret YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe if you're there. Comment, say hello, ask any questions, and we will respond. So when Suzanne Alexander and I started communicating and talking about what this episode would be about, Suzanne shared, her work around money mindset and around the work that she does to help and enable for her clients to release money blocks. And I'm sure she could say it more articulately than that. I do a proper introduction on the podcast. But, I wanted to talk about mindful money a little bit. I was amazed, and I have met lots of money mindset coaches along the way. But I was amazed how truly parallel Suzanne and I are working. So, for example, how we feel about money makes a difference to whether we shrink away from money or whether we take up space and are expansive and feel confident about incoming money and outgoing money and releasing blocks and changing beliefs. And that is, of course, all of the work that, if you've been following Confidence Through Cabaret for a while now, that we do around releasing your imposter voice and getting control of that by developing other stronger voices that are fierce and badass and can do anything. And you'll find I do a little small series of questions like that on the podcast as well around your cabaret persona. So do go and check that out. But just the whole kind of like taking up space when we are coming from a place of deficit, when we are coming from a place of hopelessness, we're shrinking. And that is the same when we don't feel strong or we don't feel confident or even accepting in our body as it is. So, like with money, yes, you might have goals to improve things or change things in ways that you've chosen to. Um, it's the same with body confidence. We can both want to make changes to our body and accept where we are now. And that letting go of where we are now, that changing of beliefs, it is important that we learn to accept and love those beliefs and then let them go. And it was very interesting to me. I have a lot of notes from this session. It was very interesting to me how much of it is based around the language that we use, the compassion for the people that installed those programs or gave us our initial beliefs. I think I need to probably work on some forgiveness for the people who didn't tell me I would need to work on these beliefs to establish my own um, self-serving beliefs and boundaries. You sort of grow up and you think, oh, I'm done. I have my values in place. Those just kind of happen by default. And we never really go in and identify them. And we certainly don't uncover all of the beliefs and boundaries that are needed. We talked about self-belief, of course, language. We talked about, control. We talked about alignment with values. And it is so much, it's a different topic, but it's the same, kind of tools that I use or, that we use in confidence coaching. So it's almost, I guess, like maybe I have these ideas. I come up with an example and I think, oh, no, don't say that out loud. I was going to say, and I will say now, I guess it's like if you were selling clothes as opposed to shoes and you had two separate businesses, that your business models could be the same, but your product is different. Obviously, with Suzanne's work, there is a lot of background into understanding finances as a topic, as a masculine energy, as a doing, as well as once you go into money mindset coaching, into the feminine energy around connecting, around feeling, around creativity, around being able to feel worthy of charging, around feeling like we can put our offer out there. It's not a charity. It really, really, I feel hurt when people say, if you're not making money, you've got an expensive hobby. I think that's really divisive, and I think it's pretty derogatory. I would say that you are being very charitable by giving away your services for free, but it is still a business. I mean, Bill Gates is in the business of being a charity, of producing charity work, being a philanthropist. So I'm gonna call bullshit on that about, it's an expensive hobby. It's maybe an expensive charity, as in, you needing to make sure that you look after yourself as well. But it is still a business. So the clip that I chose to share in this segment that I wanted to talk about, which is very personal for me, and I will be doing the work this evening. I'll be doing my journaling. I'm going to go back over and listen to that again. Is a series of questions. I asked Suzanne Alexander, how do you know when you need a money coach, or how do you do the work? Like, for example, with a personal trainer, and I hope I'm not being rude about, but comparing it to a personal trainer, it's like, you do the exercising yourself, and then you hit a plateau, or you're not enjoying it, or you don't know what to do, or you feel like you could hurt yourself or whatever, and so then you hire somebody who will help you learn and push you further than you will ever go. So I asked Suzanne the where the point is, where you know that you need a money mindset coach to help you uncover the blocks, to help you remove them and change your beliefs, align with your values, and be open for abundance. So let's have a listen to the questions that there's two questions on here. Actually covers a lot more of them, so do go and listen to the podcast or vodcast episode. But let's listen to two of the questions now.
A couple of questions as key takeaways to start asking yourself is, what is my relationship with money? So what is your current relationship with money? So do you dislike money? Do you love money? Do you hold on to money? Do you freely give money away? Does money come in and you're holding on to it? Or do you find that money comes in and then suddenly, as soon as it comes in, it goes out? So that's the first question, which is, what is my relationship with money? The next question to ask yourself is, what was my relationship, or what was I taught around money when I was younger?
Yes. So, what is your relationship with money? What was I taught about it when I was younger? Where did that come from? So, let me just read these questions here. What's my relationship with money? And then, where did I learn those things? So, by the time we're 7 or 8, then we have those habits installed. Doesn't mean they're not changeable. It just means that we need to make effort to change them. Or something deep needs to happen. In my case, my money mindset shifted radically when my late husband, with Alzheimer's, made some very detrimental financial decisions on our behalf, passed away without being compos mentis, and wasn't able to explain the um, decisions. So some of my money blocks have come from there, which is, in the last couple of years. But certainly what drew me to that kind of lifestyle, or not necessarily drew me to it, but allowed me to accept it, was that my parents suggested that that's something that, one day you'll have a husband and he'll look after those things. So of course, then I had a husband and I handed it all over. um, without any knowledge. And I'm there very busy running a successful business. Actually, I had two businesses running in parallel at that point, with 22 trainers on my books. And I was traveling all over the world, and I was raising children. So I was quite happy to do division of labor. I just didn't understand that decisions were being made without a discussion. So one of the things that Suzanne and I talked about after the podcast was about, having once a month, having a financial date night where you sit and you talk about where things are, where's the income, where's the outgoings, where are things being stored, what decisions are being made, what decisions do we need to make together, and and keeping it, each other up to date, which is something that in hindsight I wish I had had. Other questions then, what kind of what's connecting with me now in terms of my money mindset, or what's playing out now. um, Challenging how we're spending, what makes us to make a buying decision, and are they aligned to our own personal values, which I've never really. So I've thought about money as an exchange of energy. I've thought about money, which is not how I was raised. I was very much raised in scarcity mindset, but um, I have understood the exchange of energy, that is represented by money. What I hadn't thought about before was aligning my beliefs and my values in terms of money. So I had thought about that in terms of my body. I'd thought about that in terms of my imposter voice. I'd thought about that in terms of my confidence. I'd thought about that in terms of my um, roles in teams or role as a leader or those things, but I hadn't thought about it in terms of, what is this aligned to my values in terms of my spending habits. um, my father was a university professor as a consumer behaviorist, and so the psychology of consuming, or um, buying effectively, which is part of marketing really, because then marketing looked quite different. It's not different, but it looked quite different, because it was all shop fronts, and no internet. So, I think I always understood how I'm making my buying decisions. What I had never thought about until I talked to Suzanne was the alignment between my values and that. So, for example, if I'm making a buying decision, because it's keeping up with everybody else. Everybody else has got one, which is the teenage girl inside of me. But everybody else has one. Why can't I? Um, and if it's that mentality, that's quite a different buying decision than if I'm spending money on something that truly aligns with my values. For example, something for my own self care, or something for making looking after the house easier. My buying decision to buy a more powerful vacuum, for argument's sake, or my decision to wear something that is beautiful, or my decision even to release things like clothing that I no longer need or wear. So I love that aligning with values, which is what I will be journaling on this evening. As I'm recording this, it is nearly 11 p.m. because we recorded this in the evening in the UK, which is morning the next morning in Melbourne. So we were on literally two different days as we recorded it, which I think is cool. Um, and so it's the perfect time, because for me, I have a more restful sleep when I journal before I go to bed. So I will be taking those questions up to my journal with me. Um, I think that it's important to have a journaling practice if it serves you, whether that's something you do in the morning, whether that's something that you do in the evening, or if it's a different kind of journaling practice. And by that I mean, going for a walk in nature is where your intuition and your inspiration comes up, or while you're doing something like stretching or yoga, um, or after you're meditating. Those kind of times are really important for us to do some reflection. And one of the exercises that Suzanne and I actually share in our programs is to write a letter of forgiveness to those who gave us the beliefs with the best intentions possible. So always, when you're doing this kind of work of really reflecting deeper, of looking at and addressing your beliefs and your boundaries, always be gentle with yourself. Always be patient with yourself and take it slowly. Don't expect great changes right away. Slowly, slowly. Yeah, just keep chipping away at it. My mother passed away earlier this year. I'm still working on some of the things that are coming up just from that time, let alone back through my childhood. So be gentle, be patient, and when you're establishing new boundaries and you're shifting your beliefs of how you want to proceed, and what you want out of it, I would say be gentle and careful with others. Be firm, because a lot of times you get pushback, especially if you change your boundaries where they're used to walking over those, and now you want them to respectfully uh, adhere to the fence line, if you like. So be gentle with others as you explain it, or as you extricate yourself from those situations, particularly around the holidays when we tend to be around family. I know that for a lot of you, you'll be listening to this after the holidays, but when we've been around family, it can be very exhausting because we can feel like our boundaries weren't upheld. So be very, very clear on where those are. Um, if you want to talk about any of these, put a comment below, reach out. All of the contacts are in the show notes. Thank you for being part of the Confidence Through Cabaret community. I love having you here, especially because I feel like I'm talking to people that really want to align with these subjects. Who maybe you haven't had a chance to listen to the whole podcast episode, or maybe you have had a chance and now you want to hear some reflections. So thank you for being here in Confidence with Coffee. Cheers, everyone. I'm Heather Jean. This is Confidence Through Cabaret. You will find us on all the socials as Confidence Through Cabaret. You'll find us on confidencethroughcabaret.com. We have some amazing masterclasses from incredible professionals. We also have some workshops on there, and some bonus sessions on there. We are on Clubhouse. I am at Heather YBYWYS. And on Twitter, we are at YBYWYS. And those 6 little letters stand for it is your body, and it is your world, and it is your stage. So take up space and own it. You deserve it. Thank you. Bye for now.